Hello and welcome to our short recap of the 2023 PGA Championship. I'm joined this week as ever by Deer Park head professional Ian Stoddart, and this week we're topped up by our studio pro Mark Sadler. Good evening, gents. We are 48 hours out from the conclusion of the 2023 PGA Championships, won by Brooks Koepka. How did we rate this major? Poods was a little bit critical over the weekend's conversation, and I'm not sure he'd have been joining us tonight with much to add, but I didn't think it was too bad at all.
I'd just like to go straight to the fact that I did say Koepka would be in the last group and would win. So
we're going to come on to that.
Let's get the facts right.
I did also tip someone that came in the studio to Brooks Koepka, but didn't bet on him myself. So
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thought the golf course was set up perfectly. I felt the rain actually probably helped. There was some seriously fiery bounces on the fairways the first
day, particularly.
First day it was like playing on concrete by the looks of it, but I felt the rain softened up a wee bit, made it a wee bit more exciting coming into the last couple of rounds with, obviously a lot of low scoring on the Sunday. All in all, I thought it was a very, very good test of golf and a very worthy winner.
Yeah, I thought it was a good event. I thought the PGA Championship as one of the majors in the last 3-4 years, each time has been really exciting, probably the most exciting. I know we talk about Masters back nine, but I mean, this year and the last couple of years, Rahm, Scheffler, Hideki, DJ, they've all sewn up the Masters, whereas PGA Championship's been exciting right until the end. I know Brooks kind of had it done once Victor hit the lip of the bunker, but it was still pretty tight the whole way.
PGA is definitely turning into the sneaky good major, which I think for most people up into the last few years, and especially when they moved it earlier in the rota, it looked like it might be lost, but I think it's had the opposite effect. It's probably become, like you say, Mark, the one that you're guaranteed a bit of excitement for the duration, at least, of the Sunday.
Yeah, and like Ian said, I thought the course was set up really well. Don't quite like the 3 long par threes.
No, the one at 250, what was that, the third or fourth? That was brutal.
But 3 of them are like over 220. And the scoring was just pretty similar on the one that was a lot shorter. So I didn't like that fact, but apart from that, I really like the look of the course.
Well, it stands to reason on that point. We can get into it in a minute, but guess who led the scoring average over the par threes?
Let's go our man Block, because he had a hole in one.
No. Bryson, just talk about pure length. Stands to reason. I was going to cover off. We spent last week with Lee Rind, who had played in the 2013 edition of this as a PGA professional qualifier. We made some predictions. I was going to go through our predictions just to see how we fared. Some of them were more matter of fact Lee's, but Lee's prediction was that the lowest par 3 scoring average would be up there nearest the top. Now, Brooks was actually 18th, but 3 of the top 6 performed best in that category. Proximity to the whole iron player was what Lee was saying he felt was going to take it to be, and there was only one player better than Brooks at strokes gained approach. Anybody want to fathom a little guess at who that might have been?
Scheffler or Hovland?
Yeah, but Ian will be upset if he doesn't get this.
Scotty.
Oh yeah, Adam Scott. He came out top there. So definitely a ball striker's course. And Brooks led on the par 4s, 6 under. That's where he kind of picked up his shots. And length, it was no surprise that Brooks, Scotty and Bryson all in the top 5 for length. So
elastic.
We had 4 predictions, Ian. You made the point earlier. Cam Young, I picked. Cam Young, yeah. He went home. 9 over, miscut. Lee, Max Homer, T55, Puds, Matt Fitzpatrick, Yeah, he went home as well. And Huggy, as you mentioned, picked out Brooks Koepka. So where does Brooks Koepka now sit? Amongst
where does he sit in the world rankings?
It's a good question. I'll find that out while we're going. But my question is, where does he now sit? Where does he now sit against the golfing greats?
Well, he's part of an elite group now. What's that? 20 people. Well, in that 20 bracket of 5 majors or more. So he's an elite company.
That's including the old timers who won.
Yeah, count the amateur and stuff. Yeah. But I think the interesting question is, how many can he get to?
Yeah,
what stops him going 7, 8, 9?
And is he? I think he's ahead of McIlroy on that great list right now.
Easily, he's got the hunger for it. His mentality is way different to McIlroy. I still don't think Rory will win another major. I think it's gone.
I think he might get a major, but I don't think he'll win the Masters. I definitely don't think he'll win the Masters.
I think you look at Rory. There's 2 interviews this week. McIlroy, even if my career finishes now, I've had a good career. Yeah. You got someone like Justin Thomas says, I've not done enough yet. I need more. Talking about Bryson, Brooks, sorry. When you see him in that Netflix series, was very open, put himself up on a pedestal to get shot at for how, basically depressed he was with his own golf game, to now come back and almost going, week to week, major to major, winning both. His mentality, I could see him winning 10, putting himself amongst probably the elite of American champions.
Yeah, I can see that too.
So that puts him, he now with 5 majors joins Seve, Peter Thompson, Byron Nelson. I feel, is Tom Watson on 8? Is that realistic company for him to expect to achieve?
Well, easily.
Yeah, definitely.
With that much self-confidence and ability, he finds the majors easiest to beat because, as he says, 85, 90% of the fields,
don't think they can win it.
Well, exactly. He knows he's only competing probably against 5-10%.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no doubt he's got another level when it comes to the majors. And I do have a question there. Do you think of all the people that moved to LIV, he's the one that stands to gain the most? Never really cared much about regular PGA Tour events, has struggled with injury, can earn a very comfortable living, and knows he's only interested in turning up 4 events of the year now. I think of all the players that have joined LIV, he's the one that actually is going to benefit the most.
Definitely.
Well, going by his start in the majors this year, as I say, I don't know where he is in the world rankings, but those points alone have put him to 2nd place in Ryder Cup standings. He's, I presume, back upper echelons of the Ryder Cup standings. What's he missing? Nothing from PGA Tour. He's still won twice on LIV in the last 3-4 months. He's absolutely hee-haw to lose, to be honest.
I mean, he doesn't win many regular events comparatively to how many majors he picks up. So yeah, I completely agree with you there, Robert. He's benefited a lot from the LIV circuit and showing up for the majors.
He likes winning round hard golf courses, so he's not going to stop winning majors when he's able to play the hardest golf courses, specifically in the States. Obviously, he can play them better than anyone. So now I'm going for 10 major wins.
Oh, that's a bold statement. I think we're getting carried away. But to answer your earlier question, Brooks Koepka's now 13th in the world. Started the year at 52, I believe, and his divisor is currently 40 events. So that's going to continue to drop, given that he doesn't have any actual events that he can continue to play in. So yeah, the other thing that would be quite interesting is whether Brooks can statistically qualify for the Ryder Cup playing 4 majors, because points are awarded from the majors at quite a rate. I don't know where he stands in that, but it was an interesting conversation took place in the Golf Channel studio afterwards, I believe, where Brando may have been having his usual points around LIV Golf, and Brad Faxon made the point essentially saying, well, Brooks Koepka's American, the Ryder Cup players represent America, they don't represent the tour. So it'll be an interesting dilemma that it creates for Zach Johnson. Do you think if it comes to it, he would rise above it? Do you think there'll be a lot of pressure from the tour to see that he's kept out?
If he qualifies automatically, I don't think they can't not have him there. I don't think they'll pick any live players, but I think if he automatically qualifies, he'll be there. I think Brad Faxon had it to a T. He's representing the country. Gone are the days of representing the tours. I know that's what it's meant to be about, but Christ, you look at the players that play in the European tour, we've had a modifier, a qualifying system to accommodate it for God knows how long now. But if he qualifies outright, he will play.
So there's 6 outright qualifiers. Right now, the points list is led by Scott Scheffler. Second on that list is Brooks Koepka, then Max Homa, Schauffele, Cantley and Young. I think there's a lot to play for in terms of points that those guys have access to, but 2 more showings at the US Open and the Open Championship, he might well just create the headache that nobody quite fancies having to figure out. But quite the achievement to qualify for the Ryder Cup on 4 events. I don't think anybody could take that away from the guy.
I hope he does. That'll create the conversation that needs to happen.
Right, well, let's get away from Brooks and let's talk about the course. I think there was some of the points we discussed with Lee, the length of the course. There's quite obviously quite a few challenges in terms of those elevated greens. I thought the bunkering played a part in some places, most notably the 16th for 2 players, Corey Connors and Victor Hovland, which can come on to strange decision certainly from Hovland there. What did you make of the course? I thought it was a phenomenal venue.
Yeah, probably as Mark said, the setup was correct. If you look at probably scoring to par, however you want to look at a major championship, what you think a winning score should be, but it's probably now the modern golf course in terms of being a par 70 instead of a par 72. You've effectively taken a couple of par 5s out, made them long par 4s. And the par 3s, well, certainly one of them I felt was absolutely horrendous. No one should be hitting timber into a par 3. It's just a mockery. I mean, 250 yards for a par 3. I mean, I think the only other one I can think of as bad as that was Merion.
Yeah, Merion was bad.
But did you hear anybody coming out and complaining about that?
John Rahm, but he was about 6 over at the time.
I mean, John Rahm likes to complain when John Rahm's not playing well, so it's every golfer.
So
I genuinely there was a lot of players came out and spoke very highly of the course, the setup. You usually hear some murmurings if people are so pissed off by some of the length that I didn't see anything. Maybe I fell asleep, but
I think having that many par 3s over 200 yards is not memorable. I mean, yes, we'll remember the hole in one with the boy, but it was more. Everyone prefers a short par 3. I mean, let's be honest, it's definitely more exciting. Aye, that would be the only element. I mean, I just don't see the fun in launching a 5-wood into a par 3.
Definitely not. And that Michael Block, who got the 1-hole one, he was launching the 3-wood into that third hole, the first par 3.
Other than that, it looked like a fantastic venue. Very difficult.
I've become slightly distracted. I've been looking at the height of Min Woo Lee. He's 6 foot. There's no way he looks 6 foot on TV. It's just now that you've talked about his driving distance. He's the same height as Adam Scott. I cannot believe that.
But he is thin, but he's flexible.
I mean, he's 11 stone 7, according to his stats. But
raw muscle.
6 foot. I would have said he was 5'9" or something. Looking at him. Anyway, shows you how much I know. I shouldn't be hosting these damn podcasts.
Absolutely.
I know. So in terms of course, 2 big stories, I guess, of the week beyond Brooks. The other one being Michael Block, who I think if we were to pick a written article that comes out at any given time by Eamon Lynch, who pretty much said that they didn't think the PGA professionals should be taking part in the event. Talk about an ill-timed piece.
That pretty much sums him up, though, as an absolute thonghead.
Well, my question is, can anybody think of a story that's sort of comparable to Michael Block? I was having a think, and the two things that stand out
yes,
are amateurs.
absolutely.
Amateurs, Paul Dunn in 2015, Rose at Birkdale 98, where you've just got this complete underdog battling their way on the leaderboard Saturday and having a crack on the Sunday. I was trying to think of anybody else though in recent times.
I was going to say recent times, or the most famous club pro is the only man who's ever done it was Butch Harmon's dad.
Yeah, I
Only
mean,
club pro to win a major.
I think in a very different professional landscape at that time. I'm talking about the current men's game. I can't for the life of me think of anybody that's grabbed the attention the way he did. By the sounds of it, neither can you guys.
No, can't think of anyone.
I mean, there's always someone who sneaks along. Justin Rose was obviously the one.
But there's an
was
amateur.
that 97?
I mean,
Yeah,
Paul Laurie.
Paul
Paul Laurie was a
Laurie,
PGA
but-
pro.
I mean, he was a touring professional.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
pretty
we're
much
talking-
just played.
John Daly's first win.
Yeah, John
Cricket
Daly's
stick.
first.
That was probably, 30
he was a reserve, I
reserve.
guess. Yeah. I suppose that's probably at the same event.
Caught me off guard with that one.
Anyway, irrespective, I think what we got was quite a bit of viewing. What's the word I'm looking for? A little bit of excitement, I suppose, with the average man and Michael Block, but he definitely seemed to enjoy playing up to the galleries. That's for sure. There was a little bit about him that made you think
He's a bit of a showman.
Yeah,
There's a video that's going
daft.
around Twitter on him doing a piece on a video for his course, and you can tell he's
Cheese-tastic cameraman.
Yeah, exactly.
He's enjoying the limelight.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But fair play to him. He's changed his life.
Yeah.
In that 1 week.
Invite to the Charles Schwab, I think.
Yeah, he got invite to Charles Schwab and the Canadian Open, I think. And
Andy doesn't need to
coming back
qualify
next
for next year. Yeah.
The big thing obviously being the $200,000+, and then the fact that you're back in next year without qualifying a couple of PGA Tour starts, not bad business if you can get it. Definitely one of the best hole-in-ones I've seen. Didn't even that thing went in like a dart.
Worst celebration ever though. See, that was the part that annoyed me more than most. Did you see? Did it go in, Rory? No, the fucking everyone's going wild for no reason, mate. Yeah, Rory's hugging me for hitting it to 4 feet.
That's the thing, though, that I find very difficult is I can't believe you can contain your emotion to that extent to play up to the camera that way. And if you then that's Oscar winning.
I mean, you'd be giving it the bull dance there, surely. I found that strange, but amazing. Totally massive respect to the guy. But
yeah, well, a couple other little headlines while we've got a bit of time. So Tom Kim's mud wrestling. Either of you two enjoyed a moment like that in the mud?
I've spent a lot of time in the Bondi, but no, I've never got that bad.
I've tried to play a shot out the water. It was at Paul Laurie's course in his par 3 tournament, and I think another pro took a video of me, and I almost ended up in the water, but no mud there.
Yeah, I think Tom Kim enjoyed a bit of mud wrestling. Phil Mickelson, 100 made major cuts from 119 starts. I mean, say what you like about Phil, but his longevity in the game, I think, is now unrivaled by anybody in terms of his ability to compete at that age. And for somebody, I mean, yeah, did he compete? Didn't really in this event, but to make the cut when everybody else around him was flailing, dug in. He's not been without his critics, but there's something about Phil Mickelson that still continues to endear him to me.
I mean, he competed at the Masters, and he'll probably do that for a while still. Just
made the cut in 84% of his major appearances. Anybody want to hazard a guess as to Tiger Woods' record?
His cut percentage?
Yes, at the majors. So
96%.
Yeah, in the 90s.
Phil has made 100 cuts from 119 events, and he's third all time. Jack Nicholson, goodness me, Jack Nicklaus, 131. Gary Player, 102. Tiger has made 77 from 91, which also gives him an 84% cut made record. So exactly the same.
One thing with Phil is that he's healthy, and he's got longevity, and you can definitely see him, as you say, still competing, still making cuts, probably making top 20s for the next 5 years. He's a healthy guy. He's never really changed his golf swing.
I think his swing helps as well. When you look at a lot of the old timers who continue to compete, they often have a longer swing, a more languid swing, like VJ, Phil Davis, Love,
Red Couples
to an extent, yeah. So I think that helps when you get a bit compact. I think it can put extra stress on your body. So
yeah, it's my problem. Yeah.
Why not?
Okay, here's a question. If you had been sat watching the highlights the night before, as I'm pretty sure Hovland might have done, I don't know, I'd be surprised if he hadn't seen it, and you saw Corey Connors in a bunker at 16, and you found yourself in the exact same position, in the exact same bunker, do you think you'd have played it a little differently?
But I think his reaction showed that he'd seen Corey Connors play that exact shot. I think he'd definitely seen those highlights. It's easy to say with hindsight to just take more club and guarantee a par, but yeah.
I mean, to an inch, they were in exactly the same position in the exact same bunker, 24 hours apart, and they both put the ball into the exact same spot on the lip. Yeah. And effectively, I mean, that 24 hours earlier pretty much killed Corey Connors and did exactly the same thing at Hovland. Hovland, though, last three majors, Open, I think he was 7th, and was he 4th at the Masters? Or was it the other way about? And then he was 2nd this week. So last three majors, 7, 4, and 2. He's got it in him.
I think also, he didn't back down. He didn't lose it. He played well throughout the round. Brooks just came out hot and had a lead, and he played well. He had that one bad break. But I think he's definitely worth an each way shot in the next couple of majors, probably. And I think he'll be around the lead in the next few.
Yeah, and you're going to take your own advice this time then, rather than offering
I think I will.
Okay.
Yeah,
right, gents. Nice. What are you going to say, Ian?
No, Slick Vic. I like it. Kind of lost my train of thought there. I was going to say something about him, but I forgot now. No, I was picking on Mark's point, actually. He didn't lose it. He stayed in contention, shot under par. He didn't blow it. He didn't start to shoot 4 or 5 over, which would have been quite easy to do going out and playing with Brooks. So he'll I think he'll be there. I think he'll be more of a contention to winning, probably going forward in Open Championships, especially. I think he's got the ball flight and creativity. He's sorted his chipping out as well, which seems to be
that's been the big difference.
Achilles heel.
Yeah, that's been the big difference in his major performance. Some of the commentators talked about just his scrambling percentage has gone up in the last 3 majors compared to the 10 or 20 before that.
Yeah, I'd fancy him to be the next kind of European major winner.
Yeah, it'd be good. I mean, it'd be certainly, with the Ryder Cup coming up this year, it'd be good if he kind of finished the major season on good form. And moving on though from Hovland, I think Scheffler, I don't know if I've really felt like he was there, but he was never really challenging it. I think probably felt like in the end, he too almost kind of flattered a little.
Hey, fair play him for being there. I mean, his major record over the last
final round 65. I mean, not to take that away from him, I must say, but never felt like Brooks was going to lose it to Scheffler, is what I mean.
No, I think the shot that kind of took him out, I think it was maybe Brooks's drive on the par 4, 13th or 14th, the one up the hill.
Yeah,
he launched driver up the top of the hill and guaranteed birdie. I think that took him out at that point. Scheffler, I mean, that guy is relentless in the majors as well.
I think he's kind of cracked it a little bit. He's spoken about winning's a habit, and I think that's what Brooks has just done. And the thing about both of them, and even Rahm this year and Brooks as well, what was interesting to me is they both started off their major wins over par. Brooks was over par early, and John Rahm obviously 4-putted the first at Augusta, but these guys they hang around. They just stay in the fight. And Scheffler certainly does that. He was a bit too far back, but yeah, he hung around too.
Yeah, there's no doubt that guy, like you said, he just knows how to win now. And yeah, who disappointed you the most, Huggy?
Wow. That's an interesting question. Who did disappoint me the most? Probably Justin Rose. No, he put himself into such a good position. Again, looked like he was swinging it great. You know, he was pulling putts. He was free back going into the last round.
Yeah,
Never really
2 under.
got it going. I wouldn't say it was obviously a decent week for him, but I just felt he might. I mean, he finished 11th of 12. Disappointed he didn't push on, because he was swinging it great. I don't know what was that. That was probably my biggest disappointment. Plus, I had him at 70-1 each way, so he was probably my slight disappointment going into the last round. Actually, I was wanting a bit more from him.
What about you, Mark?
Well, I'd say probably Adam Scott, considering the position he was in early in the on Friday. Adam Scott probably, but outside of the position they were in, Max Homa for me, he's such a good player, but he hasn't figured out the majors yet. I think when he does, he'll contend, but he's dreadful in majors right now.
I just cannot get over how much Adam Scott underachieves. I mean, distance, ball striking, just the guy. He must be the most frustrating player to just have. Like, if you, I don't know. I
think it's partly his wardrobe choices as well.
They are awful.
Lovely beige.
I'm soon to take a trip out to the States. I might have to drop in and see what the latest Uniqlo beige brown combo is that's available.
With a Dennis the Menace top.
I don't come back with a long sleeve Dennis the Menace. That was even I wouldn't wear that one. That was bad.
It really wasn't good. Okay, and then in terms of last question for me, actually, before we maybe wrap up, favourite hole in the course?
I would probably go back to the drivable par 4. Really
14th.
Really risk reward. You've seen the best of both on it. You know, guys getting rewarded for hitting good tee shots. You know, and then obviously punished for hitting bad ones into the rough, or obviously kicking off left off the hill or tree right. So I felt that added a wee bit of coming down the stretch, a wee bit more drama come to it. I quite enjoyed that.
Yeah, I like the 14th as well. I like the 15th that followed it, the shortest par 3 of like 155, and it was nice seeing a tough stretch of holes in like 7, 8, 9, and then them have 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 to kind of get a few back. That was probably the favorite for me, was 15.
I actually think that stretch 13, 14, 15, the long par 5, and actually I think on Sunday it was that par 5 that I think Brooks had about an 8-foot putt, knowing that Hovland had a putt for birdie. I actually think that
was huge.
That putt was massive. Probably what won him I don't know if I say it won him the tournament, but it gave him.
It was a momentum.
It gave him a lead that he needed to hold at that point, because there's no doubt Hovland still was right at his heels, and that would have really changed the dynamic. I think that stretch 13, 14, 15, and that's why I go back to the course. I thought the course was great. I know you're talking about the par 3s being long, but hey, when you're hitting the ball as far as these guys can with a 4-iron, it's no different than me trying to play a flipping 190-yard par 3. So, like,
you know, when you're built like Minwoo, it doesn't matter.
I do have to correct myself on that. And actually, the other thing I do have a mea culpa on was I read out last week, or when we did it with Lee, I was looking at the entry list from the PGA, and I think there was only like 8 players listed from Live, and I think it was about 14 in the field, actually, as it turns out, including Thomas Peters, who got an invite. So I don't even know how all that works. So
he had a go in the last round.
But Taylor Gooch missed out, even though I don't think he should have.
Very weird. And talking about people by the name of Taylor Moore's head off. Anybody see that?
I missed that one.
Was it better than John Ram beating up the mic?
It was a really kind of feeble attempt with a driver to do a kind of tomahawk
forward toss.
and as he stormed on and sent his caddy off to go and find his driver, he looked like he'd just had enough of his day. So anyway, that's us. We're 2 majors in. I would say very, very entertaining weekend, and very much looking forward to seeing the US Open coming up, which now apparently includes Sergio Garcia, who has just gone to the local qualifying and got himself a spot in the field. I think
shot 66 to qualify.
Fair play,
Yeah.
fair play if you've got to go out there and do that. And I think that was just final point. One of the points that was made about, is it Taylor Gooch as well, was that he elected not to go to the US Open qualifying after thinking he was getting into that as well. So it just shows you Garcia's not got anything to prove, really. Quite happy to go and make an effort. And then the young guy who's complaining couldn't even be bothered entering. So it'll be interesting.
And the US Open's only 3 weeks away, so
I know.
Brooks could go on another tear quite easily.
Good. Okay, gents. Well, thank you for joining as we wrap up a little quick recap of the 2023 Men's PGA Championship. We may well now be out of action for about a month, because I am, this time next week, boarding a flight to the States, and I might even manage a game of golf. So would anybody like to say thank you all, farewell, and bye-bye?
Thank you for listening.